You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, what up, man? This is your boy Al Mega, over to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast. And today, I have a fellow Crusader over here that I'm very proud of. He came along as a writer for the team, and now he's a world-class writer. I mean, he's a comic book creator. He's a publisher. Holy smokes. He is an author with a dope book right now, as you saw in the main picture, called The Long Game, that you need on your shelves today. Let me bring up that amazing homie right here, the one, the only Mr. David Nemesis. How you doing?
Who's this guy you're talking about? Where is he? Hold on. So.
What's poppin', kiddo? How you doing today?
What's going on, my man? What's going on? Fresh off your
what?
success at the Scream red carpet premiere. Got some dope pictures. You're getting in there, you're hobnobbing with the elites, man. So
That was some fun times for sure. Definitely was a lot of fun. Worth the being awake for 36 hours.
Sweet.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. The sacrifices we make, right, folks? You know, talk about sacrifices, homie. How you doing, man, since the last time you came on? Because I know that was your venture into posting or the project still alive. So it's popping. Where we at? With blood work?
Yeah, we're going. It's we got a little over a week. I think we got a week and a half, like 10 days until the campaign is up. And we've learned a lot of lessons. We still are keeping our fingers crossed everything get funded. But you know what? If we don't get funded this time, we got plans going forward. But that doesn't mean don't go take a look at it. So yeah, if you go to Indiegogo and type in Blood World #1, you'll find our link there. Or if you go to my socials, I've got it pinned on there for the link to the campaign for Blood World. So that's through Raincross Press. And then, yeah, man, I've been busy. I'm working on other things with Raincross, stuff with Blood World. OPSEC #3 for ASAP Imagination is written.
Oh, what? What?
And it's being
What
drawn.
is number? Wait a minute. What number?
We're on 3. We're on 3.
Oh my gosh.
So and 3 takes a rather dark, violent turn, because that's just who I am. But no, the story is moving along nicely. It's cool. So we got that going on. The Long Game is going on. I'm working on 2 different books right now that I'm writing at the moment. So I'm doing all that writing, and I'm doing Cinema Crusaders still. Go check that out on Friday afternoons. And I'm also hosting for ASAP Imagination the Anyone World Showcase. And if you'll allow me, indulge me, ASAP Imagination's YouTube channel, we're doing that this afternoon at 4 Pacific. So go subscribe to that and check that out as well. So
you heard it, folks. You better go visit. All right, talking about that, you better visit that website too.
Yeah,
great books, great team of creators. Part of the extended family over here.
Yeah, and if you go to anyoneworld.com, there's a collection there, and I have my own collection, man. The D.W. Howard collection. So you get OPSEC, Perspectives, The Long Game, the whole thing. So
a collection. Look at you. Wow, dig it. All right, kiddo. Let's dig into it. You got all this stuff. One of the projects you mentioned here is The Long Game.
Yeah.
Talk to me, before we get into the story itself and the whole synopsis, and try not to be Mr. Spoiler, like I know that you are.
You don't want me to Tom Holland it?
So tell us a bit first about the seeds of the birth of the idea in that brain of yours for this story.
Yeah, man. This story has been kicking around in my head for a long, long time. I'm going to say like 25 years. So
yeah.
I was sitting there watching the news, and, the news back then was like the news now. People yelling at each other, people yelling back and forth. They're not yelling they're not talking to each other. They're talking at each other, and everything. And I was like, and it just occurred to me. I was like, if I was the devil, what would I do to get us to destroy ourselves? That was the seed, and then I just started kicking around ideas and thinking about, if I wanted humanity to destroy itself and I had that power, what could I do? And that's kind of where it grew from there. And then there are a lot of different ideas that I came up with. Some were better than others, but I kind of settled on this one particular idea for the book that's central. And it's not what the book is really about, but the topic that the devil, the evil in this particular book chooses to use to drum up problems. Actually, the book was supposed to be released during the summer, and it reared its ugly head in our politics then. And so the book got pushed back because I was like, I didn't want any of that around the book. So it's kind of weird because it became very topical all of a sudden. I was like, it's in the book, but that's not what the book is about. The book is about the insidiousness of evil, about how evil doesn't have to be in their face stabbing you. It doesn't have to be there, scaring you, a big monster or something. It could be behind the scenes, whispering shadows and destroying your life in very dark and unexpected ways, and that could be worse than anything you could possibly imagine. So,
Jeez, take, taking a dark side, this guy. And
yeah.
where does that dark energy come from? Have you put how much of yourself is in this story, if at all?
Yeah, well, the full title of the book is The Long Game, a Michael Domenicali novel, and there are 7 novels that I planned for this series, and most people that have read the book have guessed, what the 7, planned 7 books are about, but I'm not going to give that away. But Michael Domenicali is a New York City homicide detective from Queens here, and a lot of Michael Domenicali's personality is kind of a combination of me and other people and that have been around, but his personality is also based on my uncle, who was an actual homicide detective in San Diego.
And what about that name, Domenicali? Coño.
Yeah, Mike Domenicali, and he's got a twin brother named Gabriel Domenicali, who's a Catholic priest. And so one of the things, I'm Catholic, and so a lot of that is in there. It's a very Catholic book, but when I say it's a Catholic book, it's not Catholic in the sense that I'm preaching at you, just in the sense that being Catholic comes with a whole lot of baggage sometimes, so, and it's in there. Like there's one scene where, the detective is dealing with all of this nonsense going on, and he's talking to his brother, who's a priest, and he gets exasperated with that. And he walks out and he lights up a cigarette as he's walking out of the church. And he looks up at the sky and he's like, so it's like, are you going to be a pain in the ass, or are you going to ride shotgun with me on this one? So it's like, it's that kind of, relationship that you have, which to some would almost seem blasphemous, but it's just this weird thing, when you grow up like that. So.
Okay. And for the start of the series, like, what are we being presented with? This is the first of the 7, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, I could tell you right off the bat, the very first scene. One of the things I like to do in this book, and I'm going to carry it on through the series, is that each chapter opens with a quote. So it's either a quote from a character that I wrote, or it's a quote from an actual person in history, and it kind of gives you the theme or a feel for what the chapter is going to be about. And the very first chapter opens up with a quote from the demon itself, calling himself a voice in the darkness. And then, we get past that quote, and you open up, and it's a crime scene. It's a crime scene in front of a abortion clinic in Queens where 2 women are dead. One of the women is a 17-year-old girl who was pregnant, who was shot in the head, point blank, by another woman. And after that woman did that, in the middle of a protest, all of the protesters attacked her and beat her to death. And so 2 women lay dead in the street in front of an abortion clinic. And so, yeah, everything proceeds from there, because it's like, okay, it seems pretty straightforward on its face, but it's called The Long Game because you're going to come to find out what is behind, what led up to all this and who is behind all of this. So.
And I'm already thinking maybe those that got killed may have had a greater future, and something intervened, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm not going to Tom Holland it, I promise. It's like I want to, but yeah, I mean, it is but yeah, I don't pull any punches. I mean, right off the bat, and you got these two girls there, and it's like, and the one girl, the pregnant girl is a Catholic school girl from Queens, and the other girl is slightly older. She's 20. She's from Indiana, and she goes to Fulham there. And you're going to come to find out a lot about them and about what happened to them. And like I said, that insidious nature of evil and how little things can add up to something much bigger. And so, yeah, I mean, hold on real quick. I could pull this up.
Put it up. What we got? What we got? Put it up, not out. Don't you dare. This is live.
Yeah. Hold on, just give me 1 second. 1 second. So,
And while you do that, look at this cover, folks.
Yeah, that was done by.
It's a novel. Right.
That was done by Kyle Walker, who did the first issue of Messiah for ASAP Imagination. He is an amazingly talented artist. And I saw one of the things he did, and I was like, I would love to see this art on the cover like that. And so, yeah, he did that for me, and that it's pretty amazing. I love it. So, yeah, this isn't super long, but you tell me when you want me to stop. But here's the quote that starts the book off, and this gives you an idea of what evil is about in this. So this is from the prologue, and this is a quote from the character. So I'm writing it from the character's perspective, the demon's perspective. It says, "A thing always starts small, an idea, a painting, a living being, an ending. They are all the same. It is then it is most vulnerable, for if the conditions are even just a bit wrong, then your thing shall shrivel and die. So one searches for a time and a place where you hope conditions are ripe, and then you wait." So it's about planting that seed of darkness, that seed of evil. So
wonderful. Look at you.
Yeah. And then right from there, we go right from that quote to, where I describe the detective coming upon, so it's like the crime scene and the women laying in the street and, and everything. It's kind of a jarring image. It kind of like tell you right away. It's like, this isn't a happy story. This is a story about peeling back the layers.
So being that this is a one of 7 over here, so am I assuming that this is like a cliffhanger type of book, or they are one and done stories and adventures of the main protagonist?
All of them are going to tie together, but it's going to be over the series. Thanks, Paul. And
Hades, right there, the man.
Yeah, they're all going to tie together over the series, but you do get a ending to this particular chapter of this, this series. So, I mean, I'm not going to leave you on a total cliffhanger, but by the end of the book, I will say that Michael Domenicali and his crew, their lives are forever changed. They're all different people. I will say that there is one character that I wrote in here, and it's not Mike Domenicali, but this character became probably one of the favorite characters I've ever written, and then I had to kill them off in the book.
You murderer!
Yeah, and when I did that, this is going to sound weird probably to some people. I actually had to put the writing away for a couple of days, and I cried because I was so upset because I love this character.
Oh, I know that you have a significant other in your life. So how did they react to you acting in this fashion? Because I know that she pushed you and endorsed you. So how did she feel to see you react such a way?
She knows I'm batshit crazy, so
she just let it be. So David being David, I guess.
No, she gets it. It's funny. It's like we compliment each other, and in some things, I'm the more emotional, artistic type in our relationship for some things, so it's like she is my other half and everything works well. And she read it. And actually she was quite helpful. I mean, my wife, she'll give me really honest feedback. And I was really conflicted. I was like, about the ending of the book as well, because I wanted to end it on a much happier note, and she read through a couple times, and she read through the scene where I ended up killing this particular character, and I was going to change it. And she's like, well, does the character need to die for the series? I was like, yeah. And she's like, and does the book need to end this way for the series to make sense? I was like, yeah. She said, well, then kill her. So, she's like, holy punches.
Murder her. Man, you heard that, folks? We have an accomplice to the murder of these characters. I love it. I love it. That's dope. You know what I mean? So, all right. So we got the 7. So how many pages is this baby right here?
This was pretty short. I mean, it's a fast read. I think the paperback version comes in at like just under 300 pages. So,
okay. Oh, nice.
You can hop in, get through it. I like to keep things going. There are a couple side, not side quests, but, side stories to it. But I like to keep things tight and keep it going. I don't want to give you too much. I want you to, I like my descriptions, but I'm not going to go on for 5 pages about something. It's like, I'm going to give you what I think you need and hope you enjoy the book, and it's fast flowing. People have read it, have told me that the setup is, I set it up for you. And then by the middle of the book, once the end game, the action, the third act kicks in, it's a thing that just keeps going. You can't put it down. So it's like that the beginnings of the investigation, you're kind of like following along going, okay, where's this going? Where's this going? And then when things hit the fan, then you're like, holy shit, I just got to keep going. So.
Oh man, look at this guy. So, all right. So talk about creative process then. And your approach to writing a novel as opposed to a comic, is there any difference as to how you tackle them?
Yeah, with a comic, I definitely do an outline for like long arcs and stuff like that. So, thank you, man. Yeah, so like OPSEC, let's take OPSEC for, or even Blood World. Like Bracy and I for Blood World have 5 years of stories planned out. We got them, like out there. So, go support Blood World so we could give you those stories, but
get it done.
Same thing with OPSEC, it's like I have the first 4 issues. That arc was all done in my head, and it took me about an hour to come up with the whole arc just thinking about it, and then it took me longer to write it down and to outline it. And then I put that arc into 3 other arcs together because I wanted a long 12+1 arc, so a 13 issue arc where you have these mini arcs within it. So it's like a 3-act structure. So I did that. And, but with the comic book, it's just like a short story. I think I could find that I could sit down and I can, know what I want to write about and then just kind of go with it, because I've got all the ideas in my head. It's like I can hold it all in my hands. The problem with the novel is there's so much going on and so many moving pieces that if you don't sit down and plan meticulously, you can write yourself into a hole or find that you've left holes in your plot that could really make you, leave you up a creek without a paddle, So, and I did that to myself a couple times, and I ended up buying myself some software that helped me organize my thoughts and organize my writing, because what I would do is, I would go through and read, and I was like, I completely forgot about this plot line and I haven't resolved it, or I've written myself into a hole here. And then you got to sit there and this is where the work of writing comes in, people sometimes think, writing, oh, you're just sitting there thinking. And it's like, but it's a hard work sometimes because you're sitting there thinking, it's like, how do I make this make sense and fix this problem? So, and there were days, there were times when I spent a week just sitting there going, I don't know how I get out of this. I got to rip all this up. And I actually did a couple times, had to rip whole sections of the book up and just start over again. So.
Oh man. So yeah. Wow. When you got down to it, and sitting down for the decision, okay, I'm gonna write the book to the completion of at least this first arc, how long was that process?
Once I actually decided to do it and be serious about it and get down and actually write it, I wrote the whole book in about, I'm going to say 4 months. So 3 or 4 months. The editing process took just as long though, part of that was that I am so terrible at spelling and grammar. So, so 100,000
4 months of errors that you got to go through.
Yeah. So, that's one thing. 2 is that, and my wife definitely helped with this. I have a certain type of writing. I like a certain type of writing. Douglas Adams is one example. There's a couple other great examples, but sometimes it doesn't translate to a wider audience. And so my wife is good feedback for that. She'll read it and she's like, "This sounds way too friggin' nerdy," yeah, or something like that. And so
Tone
then I'll
down on
listen.
the nerd.
Yeah, and then I'll listen to her and I'll take it under advisement and I'll be like, I either change it or I don't. Sometimes I'll look at it and be like, no, I don't give a crap if it sounds nerdy. So it's staying in there, But
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds too nerdy. Like, tone down on the nerd guy.
yeah.
That needs to be in a t-shirt. Tone down on the nerd.
Yeah, I mean, she's an English major and a teacher, so she's good for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then, but there was different rounds of editing too. So then Sarah Butcher and then Lori Cunningham both read it and edited it well, and they gave me great feedback, and they read it for story and they read it for grammar and stuff like that, and plus they give you those great feedbacks too that just make you feel good, So it always made me feel good when Lori or Sarah would read one of the scary parts, like a dream sequence with the demon or something, and be like, "Holy friggin' crap, that's scary as hell." And I'm like, "Yes," So it's like I'm not going to sleep tonight, and you're like, "Oh yeah, all right,"
Folks, if you're not aware, one of David's things that he loves to do is make sure that he could find something that could terrorize each and every one. He's like trying to be the Batman of the comic Crusaders. He found how much I hate dolls, and he created a killer doll that just I would kick the crap out of it, even if it's trying to be friendly.
Well, that's a funny thing. Is like one of the things I'm thinking about doing is on my website, and then eventually doing it as a book. Is I've got lots of short stories that I've written as scary stuff too, and almost to a T, all those short stories are from actual nightmares I've had, or experiences. So just to share like one, I wrote a short story about something that happened to me when I was 8 years old or 10 years old. My brother and I, we slept in our room, and our room opened up right off of our front door. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and my brother did too. And we felt like someone was watching us. And we looked, it was like 1 a.m, and there was a homeless dude sitting there watching us through the open window because it was summertime, and he was trying to get in the window.
What?
And my dad went and chased him off. Yeah. So I wrote a horror story about using that as an inspiration. So, yeah, that's, 10 years old, that's scary shit. I mean, hell, man, 50 years old, that's scary shit. So.
You ain't lying. I had a similar incident. I don't know what got into me, but it was just late at night. I used the restroom one night. I didn't turn on anything. I'm living with my parents, still, I'm a kid, teenager. And I used the restroom, and I walk back, and I see a shadow by a window. Mind you, we live on the 4th floor, but for some odd reason, I said, "Who the fuck is climbing through our window?" So, man, I had this cup in my hand of water, and I just chucked it at them, and I ran to the room. There's a thief here, right?
Yeah.
While I'm jumping on the bed like a little girl, I didn't realize my father wasn't there. And my mother was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And my father was like, "Yo, it's me. It's me. It's me." Bro, my father said, like, "Dude, you have an arm on you." I felt that shit whiz by my head. If I didn't duck, I think he would have killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that, I think that's part of being a writer, it's like, so those types of things, you notice them, and then you can turn them into stories and stuff, and I like to write about stuff that scares me. So I do not like creepy dolls, creepy kids, clowns, those types of things. That stuff scares the crap out of me.
Apparently, Paul doesn't like homeless folk, peering through his window. So now he's gonna be watching his window all night. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Look, now you found Hades' weakness.
The Kukui, man. So
Ahí está. Oh, smack. I love it. All right. So where can we get the book, kiddo?
Yeah, go to anyoneworld.com.
Anyoneworld.com.
Yeah, go there and you'll see the book is right there on Anyone World's page, or you could go to there's a section there to click on collections. You click on the D.W. Howard collection, and it's in there along with OPSEC and Perspectives, which I'm also going to be talking out tonight on that Anyone World showcase on the Ace Up Imagination YouTube channel. Get those plugs in. So
You get every plug. Yeah, check out
Yeah,
ASAP Imagination website because Hades has built a hell of a team here. They have a wonderful line of books. I mean, of all kinds, throughout the brand, and the extended,
yeah.
brands within it. So there's a lot of great stuff. So check out ASAP Imagination. And visit my man here because the homie is also publishing stuff. This is where Blood World is from. So check out Rain Cross Press for info on the projects more at raincrosspress.com. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Rain Cross Press. Homie locked it down as you should. And of course, keep up with everything that David is doing because homie is a working machine. He's a workhorse. He is like the Luke Gehrig of the Crusaders here. He goes through things and then he comes back even stronger and harder than before. This man is a true soldier.
What?
I salute you for your service, my brother. Throughout and throughout, man. You are the
Hey,
man. So right there, Nemesis
what? One
FC.
more shout, man. I got to give a shout on this. Uh, we are all about indie here at Comic Crusaders and everywhere else.
Yes, we are.
Go to globalindiegroup.com. I'm part of
Oh
that now too.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
hell
Go
yeah.
check
So
that
yeah,
out.
give them just a little brief synopsis on what gig is and how
Yeah.
that helps
So
indie creators from all
this is
lanes.
another brainchild from that mad genius Paul Hayden, Hades. And and when he told me about this, I was like, how has nobody else done this? Globalindiegroup.com is a place where if you're an indie creator, it's free for you. If you're a creator, if you're an editor, if you're an artist, if you're a writer, if you're a video maker, you could put your services out there, your profile out there for free. Or no, I'm sorry, you got to pay a subscription, but it's a small subscription fee. And then if you're looking for services, so let's say you're a writer and you need an artist for your comic book, you go to globalindiegroup.com and there are other independent artists there that you can find them and contact them and get them to do work for you. Or if you're an artist who's looking for a writer to collaborate with you, same thing. Or in my case, on there as a writer, but I do video editing as well. So you need some video editing. If you need someone to do video editing for your comic book, for your campaign or something, I do that kind of stuff. So, come check me out, and I got reasonable rates. I'll work for you. So yeah, go check that out. Globalindiegroup.com. So
Exactly, folks. That's what's great about here, and it's true. That goes to show, ASAP does care a lot. David and the whole team. Paul, man, I mean, he the man. He cares about the indie community, and figured out a wonderful lane for everyone to be able to connect and help one another. Build
yeah.
upon their projects and more, or even any type of services. As David mentioned. I mean, video editing. You know what I mean?
Well, not
Don't you
only
wait.
that, if you write a book, one of the things you're going to need is an editor. And finding an editor that will treat with you fairly, that you can work with, and will give you a good price is hard to do, especially if you're a first-time writer. Global Indie Group has some great editors on there. And believe me when I say, as good as you writing is, it only gets 1,000% better with a good editor that can read it and give you feedback. So
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, because you got someone that really reviewing your stuff and making sure that and when you're meant to write ship, it doesn't say shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Good
Well,
stuff.
not only that, we talked a
Exactly.
little bit about the writing process. When you write stuff, it's all clear in your head because it's coming from your head. But when someone else reads it, they could be like, I don't understand what you're saying here. And then
This
you
is
go back and you
gibberish.
look at it. Yeah. So,
Awesome.
definitely.
There you go. And again, this is the last pick. Look at this front to
Yeah.
back over there. Look at that gorgeous book. Look at that spine.
And I will say,
W. Howard.
you notice that woman right there standing next to Mike Domenicali? That's one of his partners. That is Sergeant Delia Sanchez, a Puerto Rican woman from New York City.
You throwing some sazon in this?
Yeah.
That means that somebody's gonna be feisty and definitely a headache for the poor detective, but a worthy ally.
Yes,
I hope.
definitely. Yeah, she's got it going on. So yeah, she kicks some ass, man. So she's good.
Wonderful.
I like her.
Yeah, bring us a strong independent women, especially today. And what is it? Women's Day, International Women's Day, right?
Yeah,
Today?
it is. Yeah, it is.
So salute to all the ladies throughout the world, for sure.
Although, as somebody on Twitter said, whenever I hear International Women's Day, I can't get that scene from Deadpool out of my head. So, and we won't need to go any further than that because
please watch the film because then you're gonna get us in trouble. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I'm showing it below. The links will be below as well. Be sure to love, show support, follow my big homie Dave over here. Follow Rain Cross and the Board World Campaign live now. 10 days to go. Make it rain on Independent. It's worthy. Trust you, me. You're gonna love it. Dope art, great story. And check out everything that Hades and the team is doing at ASAP Imagination. Of course, you get the book at right here, The Long Game itself at anyoneworld.com. So again, make it rain, baby.
Absolutely.
David and the rest of the Anyone family. And again, as they mentioned, if you are someone in the independent comic community, you're looking to create something, you're looking for some help, some resources, look no further than globalindiegroup.com, aka Gig. Yeah, baby. That's Sweet. What it is. David, thank you so much for your time today and talking about the greatness of your book. You know what I mean? Links below, everybody. Bye. You rock. Keep doing what you do. You're amazing. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the heck out of you. Much love, man, for tuning in always. Comment below. Make sure to turn on notifications. Tell your friends about Comic Crusaders, about Undercover Capes, about David over and ASAP and Ray Cross and everything else. That's great. All right? You know what it is. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Much love.
We're out of here.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.